Hey darlings, Denisse here. I am here today posting my first video because I wanted to share with you the experience of pregnancy that I'm going through. It has been quite a journey. I'm towards the end of it. Today is actually my 36th week of pregnancy, so I'm near the end of it all. But I wanted to be able to share with you everything that I've gone through, my side, my experience, my journey through it all, so that those of you, that are interested or that might be going through this journey, or maybe might just be starting or want to start this journey, can experience it with me. And I definitely want you to take all that I say like a grain of sand, because all of our experiences are different. Pregnancy is never the same. Even if it's the same person, every pregnancy is different. I don't know, just wanted to follow this journey for myself, with myself, because I know that probably years from now I'll probably forget these little things that I think of or that I feel or that I've gone through, and I want to be able to have this for my kids as well, but share the journey along with you as well, if you're willing to take it with me. So if you stick around, I will share with you everything from the very beginning. If you know me, I'm not particularly a shy person, but I definitely want to start off by excusing myself with my camera mannerisms. I am not comfortable being in front of a camera. I'm not usually in front of one. So I definitely want to start off saying that, and hopefully we can get accustomed to it together and carry on the journey from there. So from the very beginning of this pregnancy, it has been a completely weird experience. When I first found out that I was pregnant, I was actually about 6 to 7 weeks pregnant, and I knew from the very beginning. I don't normally have like a set schedule on my period. I don't have a day where I'll be like, if I don't get my period this day, then I know that I'm late and I'm definitely pregnant. That's not my case. So it's always complicated to go through that, but this time I knew, and if you're a girl, you know that when you start getting symptoms like cramps, maybe a few days before you get your period, you are already expecting the pain. And I went through that. I actually had weird feelings in me. They weren't really like painful cramps, but they were definitely like contractions, crampy contractions. I'm not sure how to describe it, but I felt weird. And this was around week 3 or week 4 maybe, after I had gotten my period. So I went through that and I just let it go, because it wasn't like all day every day. It was just like a little bit, and then that's it for that day. And this was continuous for maybe about a week or so. So at the end of that week, I was hopefully expecting a period, menstruation cycle starting anytime soon, but it never did. And I immediately told my husband about it, immediately since the very beginning actually, but I told him when I just felt like it wasn't ever gonna come. and then I advised him that maybe it might be a good idea to get us a pregnancy test and figure out if we were expecting or not. And that very same day we ended up getting one, and it was simple, it was quick. It wasn't something that maybe I wasn't expecting. She definitely wasn't a planned pregnancy, but we were excited whether we were or we weren't. But in my heart, in my belly, clearly I knew that this pregnancy was gonna be a little bit different. And sure enough, when we got home and I took the pregnancy test, it was positive. We took a second one, it was definitely positive again. It's not like it was gonna change. And we were excited. Jimena was there, my little daughter, and at that time she was just a little over a year old, a year and a few months. So she was still small. She definitely just didn't know what was going on, but she saw us excited and hugging each other and kissing, and she was excited with us too in the restroom, holding the little pee stick. So we were just watching her, making sure she didn't like stick the stick in her mouth, with the teething and whatnot. But that was definitely an experience that we were not expecting, in the way that we weren't planning it, but we were sort of expecting with everything that had been going on that last week or so. So the excitement was definitely there. And after setting up an appointment with the doctor and getting a sono done, because it was so early, I feel like it was a very difficult experience for us, because when we had that first sono, I want to say I was maybe about 5 weeks or so. I don't recall what the doctor had told me at that time, but it was difficult for us to be there and watch it because when he did that sonogram, there was a sac, but there was no baby. Not that he could really tell because it was so early on. So it was a good experience to know that, you know, that the pregnancy test was positive, and to be able to see that sac there. But because there was no baby formed yet, and at that time usually babies start forming in some way, it was very scary for both me and my husband, and so when we got home, it definitely took us a little bit of time to be able to soak that information in. And we had probably about 3 sonograms within that month, just to make sure that everything was progressing, that every 2 weeks we were able to go with the doctor and see, you know, if that baby was actually forming inside and it wasn't just a sac with nothing in it. And that was the hardest part. That second month was the hardest one because nothing was showing at the very beginning because it was so early on. The waiting game was a difficult one, and I don't know how people do it when they find out that they're pregnant so quickly, because it's the longest pregnancy ever, and it's difficult knowing that, you know, your baby's not even formed yet and you don't even know if that baby's going to be formed. It's just not a fun experience at the beginning. But fortunately everything was well. We had just caught it really early, so the baby started forming, you know, by week 10 or so. She was a cute baby. Probably didn't have anything there, but at least there was a baby inside me, and that was the best experience that I can relate to you. The day that we were able to hear that heartbeat on that baby was the most relieving day that I've had, and we were just hoping for the best from there on. I do recall that on week 13 we decided to do a DNA test to know the gender of our baby, and they also check for any other genetic disorders that might come along with the baby. Fortunately everything went well. There were no results that we were worried about, and we ended up finding out that the baby was a girl. And we were very excited. I mean, we're all just kind of hoping for the best, right? So regardless of the gender, we were just excited that the baby was okay, that everything was developing fine, and that we were gonna have a new little family member in the family, and that itself is a blessing, and we were all excited for that. I do want to share with you the funniest experience that I've had, simply because that particular time in the very beginning of the pregnancy, maybe around week 7 or week 8, I humbled myself down because I bit my tongue really really hard, because in my first pregnancy I didn't really experience a lot of cravings and things that I wanted, and everybody always makes a big deal about that. When you're pregnant, you should be able to eat everything that you want. If you're craving something and you don't get it, that means that the baby's probably gonna come out with defects, that you need to go get what you want. And I just rolled my eyes, honestly, because I never experienced that with my first pregnancy. And this pregnancy I definitely had a completely different experience. And at that moment when I experienced my first craving, I was like, no, it's just my brain, like, stop. And then I kept having all these cravings. Like, I would see ads on TV, or I would see I don't know, ads on like the phone or on Facebook while scrolling through, of like food or ice cream, and I was like, yeah, I can have that right now. But I don't think that I ever had a moment in pregnancy, even though I had cravings, that I was the entitled little pregnancy woman that was like, I need this food right now, if not, something's gonna happen to me. I definitely craved a lot throughout this pregnancy, but I know that nothing was gonna happen to the baby if I didn't have whatever I wanted, you know, whatever I saw on TV or on the phone. But I'm so thankful for my husband, because a lot of the times when I shared with him the things that I wanted, he would still go out and get it, and if he was out already, he would come home with it. So I'm definitely grateful, and I appreciate my husband for that. Although he did put a lot of limits, I think more for my safety and for the baby rather than, you know, to save money. A lot of times when I wanted something in the middle of the night or I would crave something, he would be like, no, it's too late, or no, you already had a lot of that. But you know, we balance each other out. If he doesn't say no, then I could probably be twice as big as this. So I definitely wanted to share that. Cravings is a thing. It's not made up. You definitely have to calm down though, because nothing's gonna happen to you if you have them and you don't have whatever you crave. So don't use that excuse, girlfriend. As for the remaining of the pregnancy, I feel like I went through a lot of nausea through this pregnancy more than I did the other one. With my first pregnancy, I only had it towards the end of the first trimester, and it was only for about a week and a half to 2 weeks. With this pregnancy, it lasted my whole first trimester. Literally since the moment that I found out I was pregnant to, like, I don't know, week 15, week 16. It lasted quite a few months, and it's not fun, honestly. It was a lot of my nausea was from anything from like thinking about breakfast, cooking breakfast. Even if I was really hungry, the first thing I had to do when I went into that kitchen was drink something, drink juice, drink water. Something had to be in my stomach, because if I started cooking breakfast and there was nothing in my stomach and I had just woken up, I was gonna gag the whole, no, it was just not gonna work. The whole morning was not gonna be a fun morning for me. So the first thing I would do is go into the kitchen and get something to drink, juice or water, and just let that soak in. And once I felt like I was a little bit full, then I could start doing whatever I needed to do for that morning. And so nausea was not a fun thing. Nausea also happened at night, and every time I would brush my teeth, you know how sometimes you brush your teeth very harshly and you start gagging? Okay, well, as soon as I put the toothbrush in my mouth, I started gagging, and there was no need for me to go way in or like in the back of my mouth for me to get that sensation. It happened immediately, and it was so annoying because I felt like I couldn't brush my teeth properly because I needed to do it so quickly because I didn't want to go through that. And that was definitely something that I didn't expect, and I do not miss. So I hope that if you're watching this and you're pregnant, or you want to be pregnant and you plan to be, you don't go through that, because it's not something fun. Fortunately, it doesn't last very long. This pregnancy, it did for me, but it usually subsides at the end of the first trimester, first 3 months or so. A lot of people I do know that experience it throughout their whole pregnancy, but it's not a very common symptom that you normally have to the end of it. So hopefully you're not one that goes through that, and if you are, I'm sorry. I definitely feel your pain. Nonetheless, I definitely have to give thanks to my Heavenly Father for giving me the opportunity to bring life into this world, but also for giving me that opportunity and guiding me through it in such a healthy way. I definitely cannot complain. After those first 2 months of anything, my pregnancy has definitely been a very healthy one, and I give thanks for that. And so that is something that I always think about, and I appreciate to be able to have this experience. Yeah. Aside from everything that I've shared with you, I want to talk to you also about your feet getting longer. Your shoes will not be the same shoe size, so don't expect your closed-toe shoes to fit. You will probably go maybe a half a size more to a size more than usual. For some people, you stay at that size. Some people, like me, I went back to my regular shoe size a few months after I gave birth. But your shoes will not fit for the most part. I don't know if this is the same for everybody, but my shoes did not fit. My feet definitely grew throughout pregnancy, and they did go back to normal. So I didn't have to worry about buying a whole new shoe. I would probably cry if I had to buy and replace all the shoes that I've already had. But that is something to keep in mind. Definitely get yourself some comfortable tennis shoes or sandals or whatever it is that you plan to be in for the remaining of your pregnancy. Get them a half a size to a size bigger. I would say just a size bigger, just in case, and have those if you plan to get pregnant again in the future. Have them saved somewhere where you can easily grab them. same with clothes. Obviously, a lot of my shirts, actually this is not a pregnancy shirt, but a lot of my shirts are cotton and they're super stretchy and they were able to fit. But if you have a wardrobe that's very fitted with your clothing and it's not a cotton shirt that you normally wear, especially if you're still working while you're pregnant and you work in a professional environment where you have to, you know, wear blazers or skirts or anything that's very fitted, I would suggest that you look into getting maternity clothes, and they sell them by trimester. I just buy clothes that's inexpensive. Honestly, maternity is not something that I plan to, that at least as a family, we plan to experience a lot. Family planning is very important, but if you're going to go through pregnancies, or at least your plan is to go through a lot of pregnancies, then get yourself good quality maternity clothes. But if you're anything like me, and we probably will not be planning more kids, honestly, anything that fits, that will have an elastic waistband and you will feel comfortable in, will be ideal. And it doesn't matter if it's like, I don't know, sleepwear, if it's shorts to walk around the house, if it's jeans, or if it's work clothes. Whatever works for you, whatever you feel comfortable in, will be, well, it'll work. Okay, so just keep that in mind. The clothing is important, the shoes are important, your food intake is important. Healthy choices are good. Cravings are probably normal for most individuals. Even if you don't believe in them, they do happen. But just make sure that you control yourself on what you're eating. You don't eat for two, that's not a thing. You eat for yourself. And just make sure that when you're eating for the baby, that you're eating healthily as well, that you're taking fruits and vegetables very seriously. If you didn't in your life, then you definitely should while you're pregnant. And just make sure to stay away from the things that, you know, you shouldn't be eating or drinking or smoking. Those things will not be good for you nor the baby, and we don't want that. We don't want to experience difficulty later on in life. Definitely not for the baby either. And lastly, I feel like I need to talk to you about my skin, my hair, my nails. Those things have also changed. Prenatal vitamins are amazing. They definitely helped my hair grow a lot. My hair was probably a little under my shoulders when I started pregnancy, and in half of the year it grew all the way down here, as you can tell. My nails grow ridiculously quick. Within 2 weeks I have to be cutting them or trimming them. If you like long nails, then this will be amazing. And even if you're not pregnant, I would suggest that if you want healthy hair and longer, stronger nails, you take prenatal vitamins. I mean, it's not gonna hurt you. It helps you for sure. The one thing that did affect me a lot and that I noticed was my skin, and mainly my facial texture is what changed a lot. I don't know if you can tell, but I have a lot of bumps that I didn't have before. And my skin used to be very clear. I can't say that I never went through like acne or had pimples or whatnot. There you go. But my skin was not textured like this, and I have a lot of little bumps. The skin also got darker in my cheek area, and that's something that you probably might experience. The one thing that I experienced in both pregnancies was my underarm area skin getting darker. And not necessarily, I do know that when you shave I don't know if it's the razor itself or the metal of the razor, does change your skin color under your armpit, I guess, in your underarm. But with pregnancy, it's not just where you shave, it's your whole armpit area. And I don't know if all of you guys experience this or if it's just me. Maybe my skin color is what makes it more noticeable. But it is something that I wanted to share with you because I haven't found a way to get rid of it. With my first pregnancy, it did go away a few months after, along with the line. I want to say it's called Línea Negra. I don't know the translation in English, sorry. But you, as you start progressing your pregnancy, you get a brown line here. I don't know if maybe I can show you. Excuse my belly, but yeah, you can tell. This line right here appears when you're pregnant, and it goes away. It should go away, I would say 3 months max. Mine took almost a year for it to go away with my first pregnancy, because it was just a few months before I got pregnant again that I noticed it, you know, completely fade away. With those things though, if you notice that and you notice that it doesn't go away in a few weeks after you give birth, I would definitely suggest you visit your doctor or get treated by maybe a dermatologist and just get it seen to see if that's normal, if it will go away, or at least if you know, can get into some sort of treatment so that it calms down and it's not so noticeable. But I don't want you to freak out. These things are normal. These body changes are definitely normal. And if you feel off, and I want to stress this enough, if you feel that anything is off, anything worries you, don't second guess yourself. If you're not sure that something feels right or looks right, get yourself seen. It doesn't matter if you're not, now at the end of pregnancy, after 35 or 36 weeks, depending on your doctor, you start seeing your gynecologist weekly. Before that, about a month and a half, you see them every 2 weeks. And the first trimester and a half, you only see them once a month. So if you feel off at any point of your pregnancy and you still don't have another checkup due for weeks, don't wait. Go call and set up an appointment and just make sure that you're okay. Sometimes even a phone call, they usually have a nurse on call that you can speak to if the doctor's not available, and just ask those questions. Don't rely on the internet. Don't solely rely on Google searches, because I feel like those are the worst ones. A lot of the times we go and look for answers ourselves and we don't even make sure that where we're getting them is the correct place, and they freak us out even more. And during pregnancy, the less stress that you can put yourself under is probably going to be the best choice. So as a person, as a mom, and as a wife, and as just an individual, whether you're a man or a woman and you feel there's something wrong or something off, you're probably right and you should get yourself checked. And if you're wrong, perfect, but never disregard any intuition that you might get. La corazonada, eso es importante. So I hope that I was able to, you know, identify with some of you. If you've gone through this is awesome, and at least I know that I'm not the only one. Definitely share your thoughts with me and your experiences. If you've gone through anything that you maybe didn't hear throughout this video that you want to share it, because you never know that somebody else might be going through it. And if you feel like you're the only one, then at least you'll know that you might not be. And if you have any suggestions to how to get through pregnancy when it gets tough, especially towards the end, or even in the beginning, and you have words of advice that you can give any of us, definitely share that with us as well. I do want to clarify, and I want to make sure that you leave this video, watching my video, with the thought that anything that you have experienced or that you will experience, that you hope to experience, is a blessing. And I want to stress that the most, because whether it's been a bad one or a good one, the journey that you're going through is definitely something that not everybody is able to go through. And the fact that you're experiencing it, that you've been chosen to bring a life into this earth, is something that we're very blessed and that I particularly am thankful for. And regardless of anything that I have gone through or am going through, any pain, any discomfort, joints, not being able to sleep, especially now, or even just like heartburn, having to sleep sitting, peeing all the time, all of these things, as bad as they may sound, and maybe they are at that point, and I don't see like the bigger picture, there is a bigger picture. And the moment that you bring in this new life, that you see this baby, that you're able to hold this baby, a baby is an angel in this world. And as a parent, the moment that you become that parent, whether it's the moment that you conceive or the moment that you feel like you held that baby and then you finally feel like you become a mommy, regardless of what point in time you go through that change or through those experiences, the bigger picture will always remain the same. You brought a life into this world, and that in itself is a gift from God. And I wanted to share that particular thought with you because it is important. It's important for you to remember it. And even in the most difficult moments, once the baby is already in your life, never forget that you are where you are for a reason, and that those reasons, although we sometimes might not see them, there's a plan and there's a reason why you're there. And I thank you guys for being here today with me, and I hope to see you guys soon. Thank you.